Amy,
Yeah? You
Amy,
yeah.
have you ever heard of the Bell Witch story?
You mean the Blair Witch story?
No,
So
but the Bell Witch inspired the Blair Witch story for sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's still us, Mo and Amy from the Flippin' Fantastic podcast. This is just our behind the scenes where we talk about everything and anything except reselling. Make sure you subscribe and take a listen. Bye.
Let's talk about the Bell Witch. I'll give you a brief synopsis and then we'll talk about some of the other things that go along with it. Um, it's a tale of it's a spooky tale of a haunting, but it's also the tale of it's basically American folklore at this point because we don't know
Right.
what's true and what's not.
Yeah. The little, how to the telephone story
Mhm.
of how
Yeah,
things get switched up and changed
exactly.
and mhm.
Yep.
I know. Would
So oh,
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, we get a little background on it
yep,
of it was the Bell family that they live in, North Carolina, and
yep,
then they
and
moved to
they moved to
Tennessee.
Northern Tennessee, to Adams, Tennessee. Now, at that point in time, remember, Tennessee is the frontier. It's like you carve out like, everybody lives far apart, there's woods all around, forests. It's not it's not like the East Coast, it's not a big cities, and even we wouldn't recognize what it looked like back then, the cities around on the East Coast, but it was the frontier. This was in, I believe, 1803 they moved
Yeah,
to
I think so too.
Tennessee. The hauntings didn't start until 18 the haunting didn't start till 1817, and it lasted till 1820 when
Yep.
John Bell Sr. passed away.
Yeah.
So they reported, or what we have to go on, was that the first when it started, John Bell Sr. was out in the yard and he saw a weird dog like fit thing, something he didn't recognize.
Yeah.
Um, it disappeared, supposedly, and then there were other family members, and they did own slaves that said they saw this dog figure and other weird animal figures in the yard. In the house, they started getting, especially it was John Bell Sr. and his daughter Betsy, and there was a bunch of kids, and it's hard to tell how many kids there were because you're
Yeah.
like, wait, when you read about this, there's like they're always like saying another name, and you're like, who's that? I
Who's
need a
that?
family tree.
Yeah. That's
So I know there was a John Jr.
mhm.
I think there was a son named Drew. I think the wife's name was Lucy.
Yeah.
I think there were some other kids in there that don't get mentioned as much.
Yeah.
The slave that saw the dog figure he was another D name. Do you remember?
No, I didn't know there was from what I saw, I didn't see anything about a slave that saw the demon or not the demon, but saw that
Yeah,
creature as well.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
that's interesting.
And uh, so this witch, this ghost, this spirit, this entity, whatever you want to call it, was kind of like poltergeisty. Stuff was moving around. They were people were getting pinched, especially Betsy, and at night, supposedly it's when she was asleep, pinched and pushed and hair pulled, that kind of thing. So that's what it started. Then they started hearing the Blair Witch, the Bell Witch would talk to them. She would say things out loud. They never saw her. They would just hear her, which is weird. And that's basically the gist of the story. Um, in 1820, John Bell died. From all reports, you can see that he apparently was suffering from something. There's,
Mhm.
he got sick. Who knew? No, we don't know what he had. But then that's where the story turns weird because supposedly he was found with a vial of some sort of poison next to him, and they accused the witch of giving it to him. They said the witch said she gave it to him. It's a
Yeah.
whole.
That's
Um,
what I saw too.
but whether or not those accounts are true is, we'll never know. We'll never know.
Right. Yeah. I hold on real quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's so much going on. Okay. Um and then my son's alarm was going off too. What was I gonna say? Um oh, I was gonna start with the that creature that he saw in the yard that was like a rabbit slash dog slash whatever. Do you
Yeah.
think that it's like similar to like a chupacabra, like type of thing? You know? Or do you think it just got like morphed? Like it literally could have just
I'm
been like a muskrat and you
I
know?
mean, it could have been, again, it's the frontier. Was it some wolf, wild dog or something?
Yeah,
You never
that's
know.
true.
I mean,
Mhm.
they say they saw it like change or disappear and stuff like that. But
Yeah. And then it's like it's after they saw it, it sounded like they saw it and then whatever that energy was like slowly came to their house. Like it started like knocking and like
right.
scratching
Hmm.
and then it almost seemed like the more attention they gave that spirit or energy, like it I don't know, just got like increasingly more visible or known. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
From that. I thought that was interesting. So it's like the more attention that they gave it, the more it grew and manifested into what it ended up being, which I thought was interesting. I'd never seen another story that was like that, you know?
Right.
And then
Um,
it started like didn't it start by, like, just, like, moving objects in the house, and then it was, like, moving, like, the kids' blankets and things like that? Like, pulling the blankets off the bed, you know?
yeah, I think I've read some that happened as well.
And
Yes.
and wonder what the fixation was with the daughter. Like, she was the one that got scratched and she got the brunt of it, basically, her and the dad, but basically her, right?
It
Isn't that
was
what
her and the dead. And
Mhm.
here's the the history marker that's on the land of where the Bell Witch was. The
Uh-huh.
house, I don't think is the house isn't there anymore. I mean, there might
Oh,
be
okay.
something there that's like a replica or rebuilt. I know that you can go to there's a cave on site, and
Mhm.
there's whole other stories surrounding the cave that
Yeah.
are never mentioned when you read the basics of the Bell Witch haunting.
Mhm.
But the marker says to the north was the farm of John Bell, an early prominent settler from North Carolina. According to legend, his family was harried during the early 19th century by the famous Bell Witch. She kept the household in turmoil, assaulted Bell, and drove off Betsy Bell's suitor. Even Andrew Jackson, who came to investigate, retreated to Nashville after his coach wheels stopped mysteriously. Many visitors to the house saw furniture crash about them and heard her shriek, sing, and curse.
Curse? Where was she's cursing?
I don't know.
I didn't know that part. There's so much literature to read about the Bell Witch too. It's
You
like
can't even like you could spend a lot of time researching it because it's morphed over the years. Like people were writing about this into the late 19th, early 20th, so, late 1800s to early 1900s about
mhm.
this. Um, there were stories. So that some of the story elements that you can't say are true or not came from some like writings in papers. The uh the Saturday Evening Post wrote stuff about the Bell
Oh,
Witch.
okay.
I think that I think that this picture of Betsy Bell is from the Saturday Evening Post story. There was a lot.
Huh.
I'm trying to think. So there was something written in there about and then it got retracted because they're like,
Oh,
"Oh, that
really?
isn't true." But it's like, so what's true anymore? And this is
Exactly.
like in the 1890s, and this happened in 1817 to 1820. So there's a
So
lot of time.
is this supposed to be the daughter?
Yeah, this is supposed to be Betsy, not the witch.
Okay. Look at a side note, look how tiny her feet are or her shoes.
I know, right?
Huh.
How do
Okay.
those tiny feet hold someone up like that?
Also, I was doing research too about this, and Betsy was like 11 years old or something. Did you catch
That's
that?
the other thing. So they're saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
she had it was chasing off her suitor," but then when you look at it, she was just a little kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, which is it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is one of those things like, did it start did they really have like some sort of weird haunting thing going on? Did they see weird animals? Was it just the fact that they lived in the frontier in the middle of nowhere and it's kind of spooky? Um,
Yeah.
so you hear things at night that you've never heard before because now you live in a totally different place.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a poltergeist, which if she was like around 11, that's the age, preteen and teen that poltergeists are supposed to come, the turmoil of that age, and it's usually girls and blah blah blah. Honestly, you don't hear so much about poltergeists anymore, but
No.
uh,
Yeah, that's true.
what did it start out with like that, and then it got so much attention and it just spread. So your neighbors live far away and you're telling your neighbor that, hey, weird crap's happening at the farm. We saw this weird dog thing, and my daughter wakes up and she's been she's got bruises from being pinched, and we hear this weird voice in the middle of the night, and and then like you said, just a game of telephone, and that just changes and morphs, and then it's 1890 and they're writing about you, and it's it's a completely different blown up story. There's
Mm-hmm.
no so a big part of the story, and it was on the historical marker, is that Andrew Jackson came to say, oh, there was a whole story about like people coming and camping out to hear the voice.
Oh, okay. Huh.
um did that actually happen? Where was there a voice? Somebody something I read, somebody posed, "Oh, well, maybe Betsy knew how to be a ventriloquist and throw her voice."
Oh, yeah, because they did say that, something I was listening to or reading, they said that her bedroom was right above the door or something, the front
Yeah.
door, so maybe
Uh-huh.
she was able to throw her voice, and I'm like,
Yeah. And
but if she was 11, like,
yeah, that's pretty
she
young
doing
for it.
it's pretty advanced thinking to be,
Yeah,
like, trying to seek that much attention. I don't
right.
know.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
weird.
and the
And
fact
then
that yeah. And
so
who is
Andrew
this?
Jackson. What's that?
Mhm. No, go ahead. Andrew
Oh,
Jackson, what?
so the whole story is Andrew Jackson came, they heard her speak, she was sassy to him, and then his coach, something was wrong with the coach, and he had a quote basically about getting out of there. What was the Andrew Jackson quote?
Ooh.
Anyway, and he left. Now, if you go in history at this time period, he wasn't he wasn't anywhere near there.
Oh,
Like,
I see what you're
because,
saying.
he's got, troops and army, and it's all documented where he was. And I mean,
Oh.
even though they have it on the historical marker here, from what I read, there's absolutely no way to prove that he was ever there. So where did that come from? You know, who
It was
who
another
made that
Andrew
up?
Jackson.
Yeah, right.
It was Andrew Byron Jackson, whoever that is.
Right. So where did that come from? Where did who made that part of it up? Did they make it up to print stories about it? Oh, look at this famous guy
Hmm?
who look,
Just to
Andrew
get draw more
Jackson.
attention to it.
Right. Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yeah. And what about, like, the witch's name? Like, like, her name was Kate Batts, but that was like, a neighbor's like it was one of the neighbors, right? Like a land deal fell through or something like that.
Yeah, there was
But
lots, and I saw other names too. And there was a whole supposedly there's a whole story about Indian burial grounds, Indian mounds on their property that they may or may not have disturbed, and that's what this came from. Um,
yeah, because they
so
did build
so
that
you have that,
house. It wasn't
huh?
like they did build that house too.
Right.
So I guess that is possible.
Oh, it's absolutely possible that there were you know, Indian burial mounds there. Did that start haunting? It's almost like the Bell Witch has like elements of every kind of haunting that you've ever heard of. We've got Indian burial mounds. We have poltergeist activity. We have shape shifting, like maybe skinwalker-ish kind of animal to human shape shifting stories in there going on. There's one, I have to find it. I had it up and then I messed up. Oh, here's Andrew Jackson's famous quote. Um, He'd rather fight the entire British army than to deal with the torment they called the Bell Witch.
That is not. He did not say that. There is
He was
absolutely
he
no
most
way.
likely was never even there. That story came out like well after somebody pointed out that if he had really been there when he was like running for office and
Hmm.
just, all kinds of other stuff, that would have come up, you know?
Yeah.
And it never did. So,
I wonder where is Andrew Jackson from? Like what was his like home base? Did he live in Tennessee? Was he I don't know. Not that that's important.
so
I'm just kind of curious like how far would he have had to go to make that possible, you know?
I'm looking. When you look up a president, it just tells you all about his presidency. You know how like when you look up and it gives you where they were born and everything?
Yeah.
He might have been from there. But he was like president in 1829 and like people were saying if he had really been to the Bell Witch and said all this nonsense that it would have come up in the campaign trail, like by his opposition. Oh, look at him. He thinks he believes in ghosts, and it
Especially with
didn't.
that quote, with that crazy
Yeah,
quote
right.
about
Right.
come on. Yeah. There would have been buttons that had like don't vote for
Yeah.
Jackson. He's a scaredy cat or something. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
he was born in the Carolinas before the Revolutionary War, so
Okay.
yeah, so that we know that's bunk, but it's like again, this story kind of took a mind of its own. Now I gotta find hold on. Now I gotta get my notes back up. I need a better system. I need to put my this is gotta cut this out. I have a little stand. I need to put my iPad there and then I can just,
Oh, I had it
because
muted.
I put everything
Uh-huh.
in like notes and I have it in different places and I mark, you know,
Yeah.
um, websites. Okay, here we go. What was I gonna say? Now I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say that
Go ahead, you go.
that that the witch was saying that she was going to basically end his life during the whole time that she was haunting the
Hmm.
family. She said that like I'm gonna kill you to the not to the father, John Bell,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then so when he got sick, uh he was taking like antibiotics or something, which was like a clear liquid. But then
No antibiotics in
or not
1820.
antibiotics, but he was taking something. Like
Right, I'm
I
sure
think it
some
was
sort of.
clear, some kind of medicine,
Hmm.
medicinal something.
Yeah.
But then the night he died, it was a that like brownish like concoction, right? That was like next to
Right.
him.
But like, is that true? And who knows what it was, Snake
Mhm.
oil back in the day. What they have.
Yeah, I don't know. But and then the witch claimed that she did it. Like I don't
Hmm.
like how does that? What do you mean? Like she said, how did she say that with her spooky voice the next day when the coroner was coming, or however they did that in the 1800s? I'm confused. And then I read that at his funeral that there was like mocking sounds and like drunken songs, like that she was singing in the.
Yeah, they're all, like, crying that he died, and she's singing drinking songs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, so that to me, that means, oh, if you're at a funeral, there's many people there. So they're gonna tell me all those people heard this like mocking drunken songs.
Right.
Like, was she singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall? Like, I'm confused. But
Can you
then,
imagine?
yeah, but then she left for, oh, like 7 years, right? And then she came
Yeah.
back
She
and
came back
tormented the son?
supposedly to torment the
Yeah.
son, but, like, they ignored her and she went away again.
And then I saw something that said that she predicted the Civil War. Did you see anything about that?
I
I got
saw there were I didn't see that, the Civil
Uh-huh.
War. I saw predictions, or I saw that she made predictions, but I didn't read about any certain prediction. And that I saw some things where did you see any other predictions, first of all?
Uh, no. Well, just that no predictions. Just like that she was gonna come back in 107 years, which is
Yeah,
like that's a very specific time.
specific, yeah.
Mhm.
I saw that there's stories that she, like, mocked people, like, sh uh, she mimicked them. There was some story that there was a
Oh,
visitor from England, and
yes.
she told him things about his family in England, and then, like, so she would go places, she would go to the neighbors and tell what the neighbors were doing. And so for this one, she went to England and told what his parents were doing, and then his parents, when he went back over there, his family was like, "Somebody was here and they sounded, or we heard you," or something,
Yeah.
like, "We heard your voice." So there was that element of it. But yeah, supposedly she would also, like, kinda spy on the neighbor
Yeah, I remember that too, as soon as you
and
started
tell 'em what the
talking about
neighbors were
that.
doing.
Yeah, and then she would even speak in their accents, like the people
Yeah,
from
uh-huh.
England, she would
Yeah,
speak in
she
their
was speaking
accents.
an English accent, uh-huh.
Yeah, and then, like, I remember one of the neighbors, or maybe it was like one of the children had already moved out,
Yeah.
and, I think, like, the witch came, opened the door, like, looked up supposedly, like, looked in and then left again, and they were like, "Oh, that's just the Bell Witch checking on us," or something, and I'm like, "That's pretty flippant to just act
But
like, oh."
now they say they see her, but, like, in other things, it was just always a voice, or she was some sort of shape-shifting animal. She
Yeah,
wasn't seen when you heard the voice, so what is it?
exactly.
So
It's
I wanna say it was, like, the 1890s, this guy it was late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. This guy, Martin Van Buren Ingram, not to be confused with the president.
Uh-huh.
He wrote a book. It's like the True Tale of the Bell Witch. It's got this really long ass title,
Oh, okay.
and he says it's based on accounts from the family, the original family. But he says that he was told to not publish it until the last member of one of the all the immediate family members passed away. So, well, I guess when one of the youngest kids or a grandkid or something, trying to figure out who was who when you're reading through all this is like I said, I need a family tree. But anyway, somebody
Exactly.
died, and then he does this book. Now, supposedly, also he was supposed to give the original journals or accounts or whatever he had back to the family, and they never got them back. Like, were they real to begin
Mhm.
with? Like, nobody knows. Like, so there was people that said, "Oh, this guy Martin Ingram, he was very honest, he would never make stuff up." But then the other hand, it's like there's no proof whatsoever for any of this. So
Right.
basically he is almost responsible for a lot of the tall tales that came out of this. Or did he just collect these tall tales, that Andrew Jackson visited the house, and that, she did this and that and the other thing, and
And
did he collect these tall tales? I mean, is he really just a collector of folklore about this? and he made up this whole story about having actual accounts from the family.
Yeah, because nothing boring sells books, so you got
Absolutely not, right?
you know? You
Absolutely
know?
not.
You definitely gotta conjure up some good stories for a book
Pun
sale.
intended.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure it was I'm sure it was not as extreme as, we talk about what, 200 I mean, what is that? Over 200 years ago now,
Right,
you know? I'm sure it
right.
was
I think
probably didn't
it's
even take it that long. It probably didn't exist that long. It was probably like a 3-day weekend
right,
when all of
where
this
they
happened.
had where they had a couple knocks and a weird dog in the yard, and it blew out of proportion, and I think it's in that way, it's fascinating because you don't know, and it's this, like it's this whole, like it's like Americana, it's a very people go there to see things. There's a cave
Mhm.
that's on the property that's supposedly haunted as well. Uh, Here's what I found fascinating, though. Here's what I found fascinating. It is in that area. That area, it's not far from the Monmouth Caves in Kentucky,
Oh, okay. Mhm.
which is the largest cave system in the United States. Now, limestone is, if you go and you hear about like stone tape theory, about how people think that like especially limestone can hold on to energy. Um,
Oh.
a limestone can contain a lot of quartz. Quartz has electric properties, as we know. Your old-fashioned quartz watch,
Mhm.
um, it conducts electricity. So there's that. The the Monmouth Cave, a lot of it. It's so big. I don't even know if we know how far it runs, but it's very near there. Here's the other thing. I was looking at a map of where this is because I was like, well, where is it?
Uh-huh.
And basically, if you want to go visit, you can do paranormal tours of the cave and that area. Um, it is only 30 miles. Here's another thing we got to talk about someday from
Ooh.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You know what happened in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I was like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
it's only 30 miles away. That's
Uh-huh.
crazy. So it's a very paranormal hotspot, this area from that part of Kentucky, from Kentucky, West Virginia, I guess like kind of northern Tennessee there.
Mhm.
So the investigator in me doesn't doubt that maybe they did have some weird things happen, but then the skeptic in me is like all this, somebody who's writing the official book of it, 70 years later. Something there's a lot of telephone, like you said, a lot of just I think it's interesting though, it's just, kind of, early American folklore is really what it comes down to.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw that the Kelly or the Hopkinsville and all those other things were nearby, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh." I saw another thing that said that people that live in that area, like like if anything happens, like if they're like, like fumbling doing things or things are like not working out, they blame it on the Bell Witch still.
right.
They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I can't get this thing fixed. Oh, it must be the Bell Witch messing with me," or something like that.
Yep.
So it's definitely a little like a folklore thing too, you know?
I read I read a couple just to end up, I read a couple accounts somewhere, I can't remember where they were, about people who were in that area of the cave and the Bell Witch land who had weird experiences. And this one, it was like in the 80s, this guy said, I don't know if he was on a run or something, or he was out. Anyway, this rabbit, which by the way, the whole rabbit thing was one of the Bell Witch things. Like supposedly the son saw a weird, it wasn't a jackalope, but he saw a rabbit kind of morph into some other animal. I forget. But anyway, so this rabbit starts, it's like following him, and he starts
Uh,
running from it.
what? Like a normal sized rabbit? Or did he
I
say
guess I don't. He was running, right? And then he stops because he's, like, winded, and he sits on a log, and then the rabbit hops up next to him and says something about that being a good
Stop.
race.
Stop it.
I was like, "What was that guy on?"
That's what I was about to say. What kind of peyote was that man on?
I
Oh
laughed so hard.
my
I was like, "What
gosh.
is this?"
And I mean, rabbits are like in all kinds of other things too. Like not Snow White. What's the one? Alice in Wonderland? Like the rabbits are always in like these peculiar
Yes,
situations. Like
stories and
the
uh-huh.
Matrix, wasn't there a rabbit in the Matrix too, or
I don't
something
know,
like
I
that?
forget.
I don't know,
Was there?
but I just wonder what kind of like history the rabbit has. Like the lucky rabbit's foot. Like what is that? I don't know the story behind that either. Like it could it all mean something? I'm sure we could go down. I'm sure we could go down a rabbit hole of that too. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. I've lost my mind. Oh my gosh. Let us know, guys. What did we miss? Because there's a ton of information out there about the Bell Witch. I'm
Also,
sure.
Amy's never seen The Blair Witch, so comment
Mm,
down below to tell her to watch it.
I don't like
She
scary
doesn't like
stuff.
scary.
I don't. I mean, I don't like scary and I don't like suspense. Like I don't like the jump scares in the movies. Like Signs isn't a scary movie, but it's got that jump scare spots. Nope, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
That's such a good movie, Amy.
I saw it once and not again. But let us know, guys. Do
Yeah.
you what are your thoughts on it? Was it real? Did Andrew Jackson show up on his white horse and leave to fight the British? Oh my gosh. And let us know, what do you guys want us to talk about too? Because we have like a list of spooky stuff that we're
Yes.
doing in October. So,
Mhm.
with that, guys, stay sassy. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for watching and check out more of our videos right here. Stay sassy.